Look, when I wrote my very first book, and this one is the one of the original, very first original printed copies, way back from the 1980s. Now, to write my first book was quite an interesting story. Uh, it took basically an argument that started off the copy of this book to ignite and get the book writing. And I think probably one of the biggest things is that we all have a particularly unique story. We all have that one, that one story that people do want to listen to. People say, "Hey, look, tell us your story." In this particular case here, it was about how to meet people and make friends anywhere. I was originally giving a talk regularly at Toastmasters and at a breakfast club that I was attending at the time, and a few other different places that I'd been invited to speak on how to make new friends, because I grew up in the country town and I moved to the big city, and hey, I managed to make a whole new life for myself in the process. So it was a really big deal. And I always had said, yes, I will write a book one day, and but like a lot of people, I never got round to it. What was the thing that sparked me off? Well, it was really a discussion that happened at a temp workplace that I had at the time. And at that time, I basically got really head up about something, and I went home to my then wife at the time, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to write that book that I've been talking about." And essentially, it was this: I'd committed myself to getting that book out within 2 months. I placed advertisements. I started writing. I had to get someone else to do the typing up of the book and so forth. The main key thing was that, look, I just wanted to get out the story that I'd already formulated in a talk and put that in a book form, or some kind of a book form. And essentially, all this book really is a collection of stories, yes, a few little bit of ABC 1, 2, 3 type of advice, and it got the story out of me and into written form. And you have something there that's in that written form inside your head already. It could be a story, it could be something that you've been itching to tell people. You just never really thought that it could be useful to someone else. So I'm telling you, hey, you do have that opportunity there to write and get that story out. The other thing is that your book will elevate you. It will lift you up above from just about everybody else out there who doesn't write a book. All of a sudden, you're the one who has the wisdom. Now, whether it's a fiction book or whether it's a non-fiction book, it's the story there that's inside you that when it's seen in written form, whether that be a Kindle book or a printed book like what I've got, that will have some kind of currency out there in the world. All of a sudden, you've done something that 98% of the population haven't done, and that's write a book. Now, for me, originally getting the motivation to write that book had come from other different sources. I'd been a newsletter author. I'd written articles for magazines. I'd also written material that went into newspapers. Plus, I'd also given lots of talks as well. So, in a kind of a sense, my material was already practiced and getting out there. The one thing about writing a book is, rather than writing a whole lot of articles or magazine articles and so forth, this was all in one little tidy form that people could take home. So it was a particularly special thing. Now, the book that you've got inside you, it will change lives. It will have an impact. It may not have an impact on everyone, but there is a certain type of population out there that will resonate with the words in your book and the title and the description. Once again, I've written a fairly apt description and a few bullet points on the back of this book to attract the right type of reader. So your book and the summary of your book will attract its own fan club. Now, you may have the same as an online equivalent, but actually in a book, it does turn to develop its own ground speed. So there's a whole lot of things out there that's going to happen for you that wouldn't have happened before you had decided to write that book. Once you make that decision, it's just a matter of following through. And I'd say write for yourself a short book so you can get it out quickly and get a taste of what it's like to have that little bit of attention that you never had before, that little bit of a feeling that you've had before, that people come up to you and ask you for advice. And secondly, it opens you up to a whole new world of other people out there that you would otherwise never have met if you hadn't written that book. And this could be in the form of job opportunities, different clubs and associations that you get invited to mingle with other people that you wouldn't otherwise get to mingle with had you not written a book. A book is an incredibly powerful statement. It's a statement of what's going on in your mind and what's going on in your heart, and it has that kind of magnetic appeal out there that is very hard to describe until you've actually achieved writing that book. So, this is David Newton speaking. Thank you for listening to this. So hit the subscribe button down below and join up, and we've got new videos coming up again soon on other hot topics to do with writing your book.